Hey guys, this is Dave. Welcome back to Just the Watch, and today I'm going to be doing a quick double unboxing for you guys. I've got two new watches in that are both new releases. These are both watches I was able to purchase myself, so big thanks to everybody who's been supporting the channel and allowing me to get some of this stuff in. I know I've been doing a lot of reviews of watches that have been sent in, which is always fun, but I know a lot of times you guys are interested in seeing some things that I purchased too. So the first one we're going to be looking at is a watch from Aragon, which is a brand I haven't had on in a long time. I bought one a long time ago, sold it, it was too big, but Aragon is doing something new. So this is, I think, a really exciting release from them. Really affordable piece, so that'll be interesting to see. And that's the Aragon Divemaster 4. And the second one they're going to be looking at is a new piece from Orient, and this one, I don't know what to call it. So this is a new diver from Orient, and if I understand what's going on correctly, this is supposed to be a replacement for the Neptune or the Triton. So it's basically a scaled down version of that. Very similar aesthetics, but it's been having the price dropped, and then also a lot of the features taken out of it. So I think some people will be sort of disappointed in that because the Triton or the Neptune is a pretty phenomenal watch for the price. But I think this is one that just came out about a month or two ago, and it hasn't really hit the US market very hard yet. But I think we'll start to see it coming out in the US pretty soon. So I wanted to get it in for review and check it out. But again, this is just going to be unboxing. So I'll give you my first impressions. We'll take a quick look at them, and then when I get the time, I will follow those up with a full review. One more quick thing. It's Black Friday, and I've gone through Amazon's Black Friday deals on watches and put all the best ones, at least ones I thought were the best ones, into a list on my Amazon store. So if you're interested in checking those out, link down below. Anything you purchase through there will help support the channel a little bit. So thank you guys for that. But without further ado, let's take a look at the watches. Okay, so we got two watches to unbox, one from Argonne and one from Orient. Let's start with the Aragon because it's bigger. Now, Aragon is a brand that I've been following for a long time, and this is, I think, a very special release for them for a number of reasons. And this is the Aragon Divemaster version 4. So this is kind of their standard dive watch. And what's special about this one is that it comes in at 42 millimeters. It also comes with a sapphire crystal and a ceramic bezel. And you get all of that. I got all of that for $150 on the rubber strap. And this is the first time I've seen Aragon do a sapphire crystal and a ceramic bezel at anywhere near this price range. It's also the first time I've seen them do a 42 millimeter watch. So they normally do 45 millimeter watches, and 50 millimeter are their standard sizes. They do big watches. So this, I think, is really going to open them up to a lot of new customers who are looking for something a little bit smaller. And the Divemaster is one of their most kind of restrained designs too. It's very, simple dive watch look. I think with this one, where they get a lot of their excitement from is the colors that they have. They have a lot of really bright colors. I really like orange, and so it's always fun to get an orange dial watch like this. And yeah, I really like the look of it. Again, very simple. Nice big bold numbers on the ceramic bezel. Now the minute hand is orange, and that's orange no matter which color we get, so it contrasts a lot better with some of the other ones. It kind of blends into the orange dial a little bit, so that's maybe one thing that's a little bit of a bummer. This one has Seiko NH35 movement inside of it, very standard there. Nice movement. Bezel action feels nice. Yeah, locks into place pretty good. Not bad at all. Crown feels a little bit on the small side. I would have expected something a little bit larger. But really, I really like that dial. That orange is just a really cool color. Very bright, kind of like tangerine orange. Screw down crown, 200 meters of water resistance. And their pricing is kind of unusual. So they have high retail prices, and then they're always running sales on rotation through their watches. So I don't know what this one's at right now. You can go check it out on their website. But it will almost certainly drop down in price at different points throughout the year. So really, if you're interested in Aragon, I would go sign up for their newsletter, because that's how you can be notified when they have deals and when things go on sale. But for $150, this is a pretty amazing deal, I think. You know, the only thing that comes close to that is going to be maybe some watches from Orient, but I don't think Orient has any sapphire crystals in the $150 price range. And other than that, you're going to be going direct to China to, you know, brands like Chronos or some of those. Maybe San Martin might have something close to this. But pretty cool watch, and again, I'll be doing a full review later. We'll do a loom shot of both of the two watches that I'm opening today at the end of this, so stay tuned for that. Okay, moving on to the Orient. Let's take a look at this. Now this is another new release. So the Aragon Divemaster just came out, I think, a couple months ago. I believe this one just released in September or October, and it doesn't have a name yet. So this is the new Orient Diver. I was reading on the Orient USA website, and they claim that they make a new diver every year. And this is the one that they're doing for this year. You can see there, made in Japan, sapphire crystal. So this one, it is available from Orient USA. It's on their website now. You can go and buy it, but the price is still close to the retail price. Now, Orient is always kind of weird when it comes to pricing. You know, if you buy direct from them, you're going to pay a pretty big premium. But for whatever reason, they seem to really flood the gray market and the prices drop like crazy when that happens. But I don't think it's quite happened with this one yet. Here, at least in the States. In Japan, it definitely has. I got this one off of Japanese Amazon for $250. I think Orient's stated retail for Orient USA is $515. Which, for reference, that puts this one, at least in Orient's mind, it priced about $50 higher than the Komatsu. So this is kind of the big brother to the Komatsu. It's a little bit bigger. I'm getting right around 43 millimeters, maybe just a hair under. This one is a green dial version, and the dial is kind of a reflective green with a little bit of a sunburst to it, but not much. It's a very dark kind of forest green. Let's get all of this plastic off of it. So if this looks familiar to you guys, it's very similar to the Triton or to the Neptune, depending on your naming conventions. But it's missing some things. It does not have the power reserve indicator. It does not. It's not an ISO certified diver, so it's not the diver's 200 meter. It's just a regular 200 meter. The bracelet is a little bit different. This one features hollow end links, whereas the Triton had solid end links. It doesn't have a dive extension on the clasp. It is a little bit thinner though, so that's nice. Comes in at just about 13 millimeters tall, which is great. It does have a fairly large lug-to-lug, right around 51 millimeters. I have not yet sized the bracelet. I haven't sized the bracelet quite yet, but I think it's going to wear really well on my 7.5 inch wrist. Because of that 4 o'clock crown, it doesn't wear as large as the dimensions would suggest. And I actually really like it. It looks really cool. It's just a great kind of larger tool-like diver, but still, yeah, it has a lot of elegance, I think, to it. This handset has become one of Orient's most commonly used handset, and unlike the Komatsu, this one has kind of thicker markers, so I expect the loom will be a little bit better than the Komatsu on this. We'll do a loom shot again in just a second and test it out against that Argonne. Quick look at the bezel action, which is actually really nice. Reminds me similar to Seiko's bezel action, but I think a little bit more clicky, a little bit more tactile, not quite as spongy as Seiko's bezels. And this is a very aggressive teeth on the bezel, so very easy to grip. Again, gives it kind of a beefy look too. And the alignment is pretty much spot on, so that's great. But yeah, looking forward to doing a full review of this one in particular. And again, curious to see how it's going to come out, like if they're going to give it a name, because right now it doesn't have a name yet. I think they're mostly calling it by the model number. So I believe they're calling it the RA-AC0K is kind of what they're referring to this one right now. But my guess, okay, my guess is that this is going to be falling in, you know, it'll be probably be available for around $300 is probably the price range they're going to hit. This is rumored to replace the Triton. So the Triton right now, sometimes you can find that one for around $300. That's supposed to be like a $700 dive watch. So right now the Triton is just an insane deal, but from what I've heard, Orient is phasing out the Triton because it is very similar to their Orient Star line and kind of overlaps that one. So this is basically the same case shape, same look as the Triton, just they've taken off a lot of the higher end features and made it, you know, more comparable to Orient's normal diver, so it fits in better with the Orient line. And then if you want those extra features with like the power reserve and the dive certification, you're going to have to bump up to the Orient Star divers. So I don't know what to call this one. I don't know whether to call it the Neptune Junior or the Neptune 2 or the Komatsu XL. So help me think of a good name to refer to this one. Maybe just the Mako 4 so people can get an idea what this is going to be. But if the Triton goes away, I think this will really fit in well into Orient's lineup and kind of take that spot as the sort of high-end, large tool watch diver that they offer in their Orient line. Anyways, let's finish out with the Loom Shot. Okay, so I've adjusted the camera a little bit to be able to see a little bit better. You can see that the Orient is way brighter than the Aragon. The Aragon's not terrible, but it's really not that powerful of loom. It is really cool they've done with they've gone with the two-color loom, where you get the BGW9 blue on the bezel and then probably C3 green on the dial. So that's a really cool look, but it's not nearly as bright as the Orient, and it's probably not going to last nearly as long. Orient, much simpler loom. They've just gone with really strong, powerful loom on the hands dial, and then just the loom pip on the bezel, so you're not getting a fully loom bezel like you are on the Argonne. But I'm really looking forward to testing this new Orient up against some of the other divers in my collection to see just how good this loom is, because to my eye, it looks like one of the brightest ones I've seen. So definitely going to give the Seiko a run for its money. We'll see if it pushes the Zelos or the Axios at all. But you'll have to wait for the full review for that whenever I get around to it. So that's going to wrap it up for these guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to get the Orient sized up and yeah, start testing it out. And keep an eye out for the full reviews to come. Let me know which one you're most interested in seeing. Maybe that will help me choose which one to do first. But thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.